Welcome to our exploration of the 15 most dangerous countries in the world to live in. These nations face significant challenges, from high levels of crime and violence to political instability and social unrest. Join us as we delve into the realities of these countries and the daily struggles faced by their residents. Number 15, South Africa. Known for its diverse culture and stunning landscapes, also struggles with one of the highest crime rates globally. In cities like Johannesburg and Cape Town, violent crime, including robbery and carjacking, remains a pervasive issue, fueled by socioeconomic disparities, gang violence, and a history of inequality stemming from apartheid. Despite efforts to improve security and community policing, safety concerns continue to impact the daily lives of its residents. Number 14. Honduras faces significant challenges with crime and violence, particularly in urban centers like Tegucigalpa and San Pedro Sula. Drug trafficking routes through Central America have contributed to high levels of gang activity and organized crime, leading to widespread insecurity. Poverty and unemployment exacerbate these issues, making Honduras one of the most dangerous countries in the region. Efforts to improve law enforcement and address social inequalities are ongoing, but face considerable obstacles. Number 13. Venezuela, once one of the richest countries in South America, now grapples with deep economic and political crises. Hyperinflation, shortages of basic necessities, and political instability have plunged the nation into turmoil, leading to widespread social unrest and protests. Caracas, the capital, is known for its high rates of violent crime, including robberies and kidnappings. The collapse of law and order has left many Venezuelans living in fear, with the security situation continuing to deteriorate amid ongoing political tensions. Number 12. El Salvador faces some of the highest homicide rates in the world, driven primarily by gang violence. The presence of notorious gangs like MS-13 and Barrio 18 has contributed to a culture of fear and insecurity, particularly in urban areas. Poverty, unemployment, and social exclusion further exacerbate these issues, creating a cycle of violence that affects many Salvadorans. Despite government efforts to combat gang activity and improve security, the challenges remain immense, impacting the daily lives and safety of citizens. Number 11. Syria has been ravaged by civil war since 2011, leading to widespread destruction, displacement of millions, and a humanitarian crisis of staggering proportions. Cities like Aleppo and Damascus have faced intense fighting, bombings, and sieges, resulting in a breakdown of infrastructure and basic services. The conflict has also given rise to extremist groups, adding another layer of insecurity and instability. The ongoing conflict has shattered communities and left many Syrians living in precarious conditions, with safety and security remaining elusive. Number 10. Mexico, while known for its rich cultural heritage and vibrant cities, also grapples with widespread violence linked to drug cartels and organized crime. Cities along the U.S.-Mexico border, such as Tijuana and Ciudad Juarez, have become flashpoints for drug trafficking and turf wars, leading to high homicide rates and pervasive insecurity. Despite government efforts to combat cartels and improve security, corruption and impunity continue to hinder progress. The complex interplay of poverty, drug trafficking, and political challenges makes Mexico one of the most dangerous countries in Latin America. Number 9. Guatemala faces significant security challenges stemming from high levels of violent crime and drug trafficking. The country's history of civil conflict has left deep scars, contributing to ongoing social unrest and political instability. Poverty and inequality exacerbate these issues, particularly affecting indigenous communities and rural areas. Guatemala City, the capital, grapples with gang violence and organized crime, making safety a pressing concern for residents. Efforts to address these challenges include judicial reforms and anti-corruption initiatives, yet progress is slow amid persistent challenges. Number 8. Brazil, known for its vibrant culture and natural beauty, also faces significant security challenges. Cities like Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo struggle with high rates of violent crime, including armed robberies, homicides, and gang-related violence. Poverty, inequality, and social exclusion contribute to these issues, particularly affecting marginalized communities in urban areas. Efforts to improve public safety and reduce crime have been met with mixed results, highlighting the complex socio-economic factors at play. Despite these challenges, Brazil remains a popular tourist destination, albeit with safety precautions strongly advised for visitors. Number 7. Colombia has made significant strides in recent years in reducing violence and improving security. However, challenges persist, particularly in rural areas affected by drug trafficking and armed conflict involving guerrilla groups. Cities like Bogotá and Medellín have seen improvements in safety, yet urban violence remains a concern, fueled by organized crime and socio-economic disparities. Efforts to implement peace agreements and promote development in conflict-affected regions continue, aiming to build a more stable and secure future for all Colombians. Number 6. Pakistan faces multifaceted security challenges, including terrorism, sectarian violence, and political instability. Cities like Karachi and Peshawar have experienced periodic outbreaks of violence linked to extremist groups and separatist movements. The country's strategic location and geopolitical tensions add complexity to its security landscape. Despite military operations and counter-terrorism efforts, attacks continue to pose a threat to public safety and stability. Efforts to promote economic development and strengthen democratic institutions are crucial in addressing these challenges and ensuring a safer future for Pakistanis. Number 5. Afghanistan has faced decades of conflict and instability, exacerbated by the presence of extremist groups like the Taliban. Cities such as Kabul have been frequent targets of terrorist attacks, including bombings and armed assaults. The country's political transition and ongoing security challenges have hindered efforts to rebuild infrastructure and establish effective governance. Despite international assistance and peace negotiations, Afghanistan remains one of the most dangerous countries for civilians, with widespread insecurity affecting daily life and prospects for peace. Number 4. Iraq continues to grapple with post-war challenges, including terrorism, sectarian violence, and political instability. Cities like Baghdad and Mosul have experienced frequent bombings, shootings, and other forms of violence perpetrated by extremist groups and militias. The country's reconstruction efforts are hindered by security concerns and internal divisions, impacting the safety and livelihoods of its citizens. Despite progress in some areas, Iraq remains a volatile and dangerous environment, with ongoing security threats posing significant risks to public safety. Number 3. Somalia faces protracted instability, driven by conflict, terrorism, and piracy along its coastline. Cities like Mogadishu have been at the center of ongoing violence and political turmoil, with frequent attacks by extremist groups targeting government institutions and civilians. The country's humanitarian crisis is exacerbated by drought and food insecurity, further exacerbating the challenges faced by its population. International efforts to support peacebuilding and development in Somalia are crucial in addressing these complex security issues and fostering stability. At number 2, we have the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This resource-rich country has endured decades of conflict and instability. Armed groups cause widespread violence, displacing millions and creating a severe humanitarian crisis. Civilians face daily threats, including kidnappings, sexual violence, and massacres. The government's limited control and lack of basic services further contribute to the danger. This combination of ongoing conflict, political instability, and economic hardship makes the Democratic Republic of the Congo one of the most perilous places to live in the world. Number 1. Yemen remains one of the most dangerous countries in the world due to ongoing conflict, famine, and a humanitarian crisis of catastrophic proportions. The civil war, which began in 2015, has devastated the country's infrastructure and economy, leaving millions on the brink of starvation and without access to basic necessities. Cities like Sana'a and Aden have faced intense fighting, airstrikes, and blockades, exacerbating the humanitarian emergency. Efforts to broker peace and provide humanitarian aid are critical in addressing Yemen's dire situation and ensuring the safety and well-being of its population. As we conclude our journey through these 15 most dangerous countries, it's clear that each faces unique challenges, from conflict and violence to political instability and social unrest. The road to peace and security is long and arduous, but with international cooperation and local resilience, there is hope for a safer future for all. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the world's most dangerous places to live.